Okay, guys, you're on time.
Thanks, Andy. Proving very clued up there. The two matches that Andy was talking about. Selby beats Robertson 5-3, first round of the 2006 Welsh Open. Perhaps more pertinently, Selby won 4-2 when they met in the 2010 Premier League. But for two players at or near the apex of the game to only meet on a couple of occasions in the past, that's unusual.
Quite amazing, really. An immediate chance here for Mark, though. He didn't cover the spread with the yellow. Well played. To do a little nice cannon on the ground. Oh, he's got it. It's not bad. Quite. Yeah, good opener. He's on the brown here, but it depends whether you can avoid the yellow. I think he might be tucking in behind the yellow. I don't know, actually. Take that back. It was difficult to... Oh, hang on. Well, that's a bit of a bonus, but the red finish in there. It was difficult to get the cue ball at this end of the table.
And that was nicely cued as well. Well, the red was well cued, the blue most certainly wasn't.
Well, he's got away with that, actually, Mark. Now, where's that cue ball? It's okay.
Oh, I see it, yeah.
It was really good to hear Mark Selby say that he's 95% recovered from that neck injury that caused his elimination from the first round of the World Championship back in April. It was horrible to see him play like that. He might as well have had a cellophane over the pockets. It was such a handicap. Insurmountable. Barry Hawkins, okay, he played all right, got through, but really he faced only token opposition. To be injured at that time of year was extraordinarily unlucky.
One.
Talk about the neck problems with Mark, of course. There's a great, obviously a great supporter of Mark Selby, his wife, Vicky, which was Vicky Layton. They got married 2 summers ago. And a good pool player in her own right, Phil.
She was indeed. Oh.
Foul.
Actually, that's not bad going in, actually. He's put some distance between the reds and the cue ball.
Once the blue had been missed, I suppose the cue ball wasn't too bad going in. Mrs. Layton didn't like it, though. Yes, they were actually married in Cancun. Mexico in a resort where just a few days earlier, I believe it was, Mark Williams and his fiancée Jo were married as well.
Part of the team, Selby, eh? Of course, award number 1. It's nice to see him back to some fitness now and playing some good snooker again. It was disappointing for us, really, as spectators and commentators, when Mark had those injuries to the neck, but he seems okay now, which is good for the game.
Yes, and of course, when you hear about neck injuries, you start to wonder whether it would be long-term or even career-threatening. We harken back to the case of Martin Clark, a good friend of ours, Mike, who was in the top 16 for a number of years, had a neck problem, never overcame it, and now he's retired from the game for many years, and he's doing a good job as the tournament director at many of the world ranking events. The only problem with Martin Clark, he's a Wolves fan, so he's having some hardship in that direction.
Don't worry, let him know.
Time extension.
Now this is interesting. No extension used in the previous match between Ebden and Lee. Here in the first frame, Mark Selby realising that this is a position that requires extra thought, and so taking his 25 seconds extra.
Two-cushion escape. Well, that will go back.
Foul.
Oh, he missed them by some distance, actually. He's
Robertson
only just missed
4.
the brown there, so I'm not sure. Well, is this a free ball? No, it was only put back. I was going to say that I'm not sure whether he can hit those reds from that angle.
Yeah, can you?
Free ball is called when a player can't see either extreme side of the object ball, and of course Selby could see a red directly there. He was in trouble though, had to be delicate.
Yeah, what about that for touch, Phil? That was superb, wasn't it? One of the shots of the evening.
Early stalemate here. Mark Selby just looking at Neil Robertson, wondering whether he might want a re-rack.
Well, 9 points to 7. It might be on the cards. Might have a path back to the bulk area there, though. No, well, that stopped that one.
Cagey start. Both players have immense respect for the other, and with every justification. Early season, of course, but you have to say so far in the campaign, Selby has played the better snooker of the two of them.
Yes, won the recent Paul Hunter Classic in Germany a few days ago. Nice to see him back in the winners' enclosure.
Yes, he successfully defended that title in Fürth in Germany. He's actually won 9 consecutive matches because he won a couple of qualifiers for a PTC event in Gdynia in Poland as well. So victory here tonight would mean 10 wins on the trot. And in pro snooker these days, that's a very lengthy winning streak.
Yeah, but as we've seen, their evidence there, these boys can mix it up when they need to. That was a great safety from Neil Robertson. Just dropping on this red just above the blue here. They've got a bit scrappy. Well, again, if this doesn't open up, there could be a possibility of a re-wrap. I think Mark might have a look at our referee, Paul Collier. Well, what are we going to do here then? Well, he's got the snooker. Not difficult to hit this red though. In fact, if Mark plays this properly, he could possibly get a snooker behind the blue here. Not hard enough. I'm not sure whether he's left this red on down the cushion. I don't think so. Well, I wonder whether he can get enough of that. Neil's having a look at it. I don't think so.
Well, I think 5 minutes ago when Mark Selby offered the re-rack, he might have been onto something.
Could still happen. Would have been easy if it was touching ball. Well, Mark's not going anywhere. He's just standing there, shall we? Shall we?
He's a hard man, Robertson. Maybe he wants to protect his 2-point lead, but now he's 2 points behind.
We're back there.
He's a man of foul there. He's trying to just touch the red. He made a foul. He just said, put it back. He's hardly moved. So this is a little bit of kidology going on between these two here.
Well, to be honest, I'm very surprised Robertson hasn't taken the re-rack. Normally, the players can't wait to put the balls back on the table when you get into a situation like this.
Touching ball.
Well, that's helped it, because it's now a touching ball, so Neil can play away from these reds.
On occasions, certain matches have ground to a halt with re-racks. On more than one occasion, I've seen 2 re-racks in the same frame. On one occasion at the Welsh Open, Dennis Taylor and Gary Wilkinson had a re-rack after 56 minutes of play in one frame. That was the height of futility.
Yeah, Mark had a little bit of a nudge there on the green. Well, they're starting to gradually find their way over to the right-hand side here. These need sorting out. Just avoided the middle pocket. And now it's not bad. He's got him wrong-sided. That's a great shot. This might find an opening here, actually. He's looking to try and drop on this red on the right-hand side. Let's just get this. Just avoid the middle pocket. With that yellow there, he's got Mark snookered on that side, so just going to drop onto this red. This needs, again, good touch. Have to hurry. Well, that's not bad, putting the white towards the pocket there.
Two very similar players in many respects, Robertson and Selby, both hard, compromising match players, but when they're given the chance, they can be extremely heavy scorers.
Well, that's a great pot. Absolutely clean.
1.
Could have finished better. Just trying to open things up a little bit. Right, that's one.
4.
That one's available. There's one to the middle. It's all a question of position on the colour. Well played. Well, that was unlucky not to finish on the black, but he's still got the yellow. Well, that was a typical distance pot from Neil Robertson. He eats those up, doesn't he?
7.
4 pots for 7 points. After this, it will be 5 pots for 8. Hard toil.
And he's on the pink this time.
8.
Well, he's having to work hard for these, but he's doing well so far. Well, I hope he's come far enough on this red, but this is the class of these top players, Phil, isn't it? You know, they can just make
14.
half chances into full ones.
This is the kind of frame where a 30 or a 40 break would be powerful currency indeed.
15.
I mentioned a little while ago how heavy they can score. Well, last season, Neil Robertson made 54 century breaks in professional competition, but he was outdone by Mark Selby, who put together 55, which is a record, an all-time record, by one player in a single season.
Of course, with all the snooker to be played this
21.
year, that could be in jeopardy this year, that record. Who knows? And again, he's just gradually
22.
weeding these out. He's got that red, I think. Yeah, the one just left of the blue there, that goes.
$28. 29.
Well, so far this is a masterclass in making something from absolutely nothing when he came to the table.
$35. 36.
I was about to say this is where the real hard work starts, but it's all been hard work so far. Well played. Well, we've got this one in for the pink.
42.
Well, this could finish up being one of those classic breaks. Something from absolutely nothing.
.43.
The end could be nigh, because although he's on the pink, position on the next red from here, extremely tough, as is the pot itself.
Yeah, he could possibly get on that red above the blue to the opposite corner, but as you say, Phil, this pink is tough. Oh. Well, shouldn't be allowed. He's got a nice cabin. Deserved it.
49.
Mark, numerically, nowhere near the biggest break of the evening, but it's the best.
Absolutely. It's not finished yet either. Well, imagine if he clears here from where the balls were, this would be unbelievable.
Well, the pink
56.
leaves Mark Selby requiring snookers. I'm sure he can't quite believe what he's seeing. I haven't seen a break like this, funnily enough, since Mark Selby did one in the Championship League against Stephen Lee last year. That was a remarkable clearance. This is right up there with that.
He's going to have to rely on a double here, though, to continue.
63. .63 on the frame, Neil Robertson.
Well, a century would have been a miracle. It's not miraculous, but it was magnificent. 63 break from nowhere. Robertson draws first blood. Welcome back, everyone, to the partypoker.com Premier League Snooker of 2012. This is match night number 2. Peter Ebden has already beaten Stephen Lee by 5 frames to 1. Neil Robertson has made a very good start in taking the opening frame from Mark Selby.
Second frame, Mark Selby to break.
Well, very good start, Phil. It was superb, wasn't it, that break of 63. How on earth did he manufacture 63 from there? Good weight on the cue ball, but there is a red on here for Neil. Oh, what can you say? This could get interesting.
Well, I know it's only one frame and one pot, but Robertson looks like as though his form is coming back. Not made a good start to the campaign. In the opening world ranking event of the season, he lost 5-1 to Jamie Burnett in his first match in the last 32. Very disappointingly for him, being a proud Australian. He lost 5-1 to Mark Davis in the last 16 of the Australian Goldfields Open. Early exit from a couple of PTC events as well. So far, though, this has been encouraging.
A bit short of pace there, though. He's still on the green here. I don't know whether you can try and get on this red that's nearest the black, but he wants a little bit more angle, possibly on the brown, to get into them. Might still try and do that, actually, off 2 cushions. Oh, well, he deserves something. I'll tell you what, I don't think he's had anyone. That was so unlucky.
9.
Well, amazing that he didn't finish on the red there.
9.
He's keeping the pressure on. Class out, this guy, when he puts it all together, isn't he? Both these guys are, Phil, when they really play at the top of the game. It's a joy to watch.
Now don't forget, in just a few moments' time, the coverage from here near Stoke will switch over onto Sky Sports for HD. And you'll see the remaining 5 frames of what promises to be an intriguing contest. Yes, just elaborating on what you were saying, Mike. I think these two are going to win plenty of tournaments over the next few seasons between them.
Well, without doubt. And again, it's nice to see Mark Selby back to pretty much full fitness as well, with those problems he had, neck problems. Ah, well then. Didn't expect that. First real chance then for Mark Selby. Couldn't really do much about the opening frame with that superb break of 63 from Neil, but you can do something about it here. You just get the feeling here, Phil, this could turn out to be a classic. They both look up for it, don't they?
3.
Great respect for each other, of course.
Well, Robertson's 63 break in the previous frame began with red, yellow,
6.
red, green. Selby being made to fight away
7.
here, but maybe we're going to see a similar end result.
Yeah, I'd like to get on the red, on the black spot, get the black onto its own spot again, that would help. That's what he's played on.
12.
Well, that's a bad miss. He'll be
Selby,
absolutely
12.
livid with himself. He knew what a great chance that was. Doesn't miss many of those. Might try and get him behind the black, cover things up. No, he couldn't cover every red on the table. He's left it awkward for Mark here.
And just a reminder that in around 30 seconds time we'll be switching our coverage over to Sky Sports 4 HD until the completion of the match.
Well, he's gone for that. Oh.
Welcome everyone to this partypoker.com Premier League snooker evening from the Biddulph Valley Leisure Centre north of Stoke, where we've seen some really good snooker actually from Peter Ebden. Against all expectations, his mastery of the shot clock was totally surprising. Breaks of 80, 83 and 103 to complete a 5-1 win over Stephen Lee. And as you join us here, Mark Selby is 1-0 down to Neil Robertson, who in the first frame with the balls ridiculously awkward made a 63 break from absolutely nowhere. Mike Hallett.
One of the best breaks I've ever seen actually. Oh, he's gone in the
Foul
middle.
and a miss.
And of course Neil dropped that red in, superb red, dropped the white in behind the black, and I'll say out of sorts. He's just missed a fairly straight red into the corner actually a couple of minutes ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to clip off the reds. He's had the white put back, so here we go again. Just trying to catch the red and go down the table here. Well, he's caught the right side, slightly on the thick side.
If you're watching the Premier League this season for the first time, 10 of the finest players in the game are involved. They're split into two 5-man groups, and with his 5-1 victory over Stephen Lee tonight, Ebden joined Judd Trump at the top of Group B. Now then, is that the kiss from heaven that it looks like?
Yeah, well, I don't know actually, if you watch the replay. I know you're thinking about the pink to the middle, Phil, aren't you? But I don't think he's on it. Well, does he think he can kick this in with a little bit of side? He could. He was on it.
I was watching the red, it hasn't moved.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. I think he was just questioning whether actually he caught the red on the way through there. He was thinking that he potted that pink. And I don't know whether when he was sort of... Paul hasn't called a foul. Let's have a look at this. Well, I don't think there's anything there.
Looks legitimate to me. No, there was no problem at all.
Yeah, no problem at all there. That was clean.
Confusion over contact, whether it was red or pink, harkens back to the Shanghai Masters final last year, when Mark Selby was the beneficiary as he came back to beat Mark Williams after that controversial incident. He's not the beneficiary here.
Well, that was very good of Neil there, wasn't it? He relied on the replay just to make sure that it was a legal shot. But again,
14.
Mark Selby in his chair.
15. Time extension.
The rules of the Premier League, it's a 25-second shot clock, and in each frame you're allowed 2 time extensions, i.e. an extra 25 seconds. And Neil Robertson taking one here. It's a straightforward enough pot, yes, but he has to work out the positional conundrum.
That's why he's taking the black. He had more angle on it. Well, he attempted to nudge the red off the cushion, and it hasn't worked out.
.22.
He's fluked it. What a bonus that is. And no guessing
23.
What the next shot will be. Well, Mark not amused with that one. Thought that would go. Caught the other red. Well, there you go.
Neil Robertson, 23.
It's just rubbing the salt in the room a little bit.
Ruthless, as he should be, and there's an extra nuance to that because, of course, by playing the shot in that way, Robertson actually freed pink and black up, which means if he gets the chance to score again here, his life's made easier.
Not sure whether this red passes the other one down the cushion. It looks pretty tight. Well, he's had a look at it, but he's looking at the other red now on the left-hand side of the table, so obviously it won't. Just a safety then from this one. Send the red down around the table. Well, going back to that replay a few seconds ago, I feel like that red did go past the other one down to the green pocket, but Neil chose to play the safety. Yeah, it did. Well, I think it would. Well, it's not bad now, but just as well that he missed the brown, because the red to the middle would have been on, but he also knows he's left one here to the corner pocket. And Neil likes these. He's just checked the potting angle, so we know he's having a go at this one. Well, he was a mile away that time. It's not bad though.
These two play such good snooker. It's entirely possible that come the end of November, when we're up in Grimsby for the playoffs, these two could be meeting in the final.
Good cue ball. Mark hasn't quite found his feet yet. He's just trying to slowly play his way into this match. No, it's only the second frame of 6. That's a great return. That was top draw. better than that. Mark under a little bit of pressure here to play a good shot. Well, he's avoided the double kiss. He needs to avoid the blue. Oh, it's not bad. He will settle for that.
The debut of both players in the league this season, and they know the importance of getting off on the right foot.
Well, especially what we've seen happen with Stephen Lee. 2 played, 2 losses, I'm afraid. He's got a little bit to do. There's been some good tactical stuff here from these two. Oh, he's got the knuckle, but he's covered it with the blue. Yes, Mark a little bit fortunate there.
This is the 27th edition of the Premier League, and Neil Robertson is trying to become only the 2nd player from outside of GB and Ireland to capture the title. Marco Fu was the champion in 2003, Hong Kong's finest.
Wow. Neil Robertson 6.
Oh, I don't think he likes that pocket, Phil. He's double kissed the blue in there. He's double kissed the pink in. In fact, I don't think he went in off the blue, to be honest, but it's not been kind to him so far.
In terms of leaving a pot on, though, it could have been a whole lot worse. Just talking there, Mike, about the history of this tournament, and it really does bring out the best in the best of the previous 26 stagings of the Premier League. 10 have been won by Ronnie O'Sullivan, 6 by Stephen Hendry, and the first 4 by Steve Davis. Pretty good trio.
Well, again, Mark's caught the middle jaw, and this time he has left one on. Pretty easy for a left-hander.
Six. Seven.
Well, he still needs one of these reds after this pink. This will put him 44 the lead, the next to red 45 with only 43 on. And I'm not sure he's got a lot of angle on this pink to get over this left-hand side of the table. Well, don't tell me he's landed bang in the middle. Can he see this red through the cap?
13.
That would be unbelievable.
Well, he was sighting it, wasn't he, before he played the pink?
Well, I think that was intended, Phil. What a great shot that was. It was absolutely perfect. And that was frame ball. Striking the ball, wasn't he? I mean, look at the break he made in the opener. 63, it was superb. And here again, you know, he's just clinched this frame with some wonderful shots.
21.
Yes, when you look back on this match, you'll see the first couple of frames and you'll think, well, nothing much spectacular happened there, but Neil Robertson is playing some really good snooker.
Neil Robertson 21 on the frame.
It bodes well for him. It doesn't bode well for Mark Selby. Still to get off the mark. That's because the Thunder from down under has rumbled into a 2-0 lead. In the Premier League this evening, Neil Robertson is playing Premier Snooker. He's 2-0 ahead of the world number 1, Mark Selby. That after Peter Ebdon, after a lengthy absence from the tournament, came back storming with a 5-1 win over Stephen Lee. And so what it means is that Mark Selby, in order to gain maximum points from this match, has to win the closing 4 frames. The way that Neil Robertson's performing, that, Mike Hallett, is a tall order.
Yep, I'll agree with that. Mark really needs to get this frame under his belt because Neil could run away with this. That man striking the ball well. Only just avoided the double kiss there. Well, Mark's got tons of experience, he knows what he has to do. Well, he tried to just play a little cheeky one into the middle there.
Don't know about you, Mike, but before this year's World Championship I thought that both players had got a great chance. Then of course Selby injured himself during the China Open. We realised he wasn't going to be a contender. We still thought Robertson would be, but he didn't play his best, nowhere near it, against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the quarter-finals and lost 13-10.
I think that was the match, wasn't it? And I think Ronnie knew that as well. I think mentally, once Mark had gone, John Higgins had gone, I think mentally he knew that Ronnie thought, if I can get rid of Neil, I can win the title again. And Neil knew that as well. He knew that that was possibly one of the final. Should not say the final, but you know what I mean. If he'd have come through that, I think Neil would have put his 2nd title on the board.
Yes, could well have done so. Began the match well. Second session, though, made a lot of mistakes. And characteristically ragged he was, and when you're up against Ronnie O'Sullivan, that's something you can't afford to be.
He's been much better this evening, though. It's been very good indeed. I wonder if Mark can get through to this red just left of the black. He's had a quick look at it. No, he's just playing the safety. Well, that's opened up a few. But he'd be a little bit disappointed with that because he hasn't got the cover on this red in his corner pocket. Desperate to try and get back into this match. Just pop the red here and let the rest happen. Just for 1 minute, I thought he was going to land in the black there, but I don't think he has. I think he'll play the blue, but there's still a superb pot from there. Blue into the middle, avoid the yellow and brown. Oh, that's finished nicely.
6.
Couple of shots there, Phil, back in prime position. He's looking good, isn't he? He's looking very sharp indeed.
He is, and it's great to see because he's a good lad, Neil Robertson, the finest player ever from the Southern Hemisphere.
$14.
I'm sure Eddie Charlton,
15.
looking down, will be very proud of this young man.
Funnily enough, I was chatting away to Neil before the start of this match about Eddie because there was the famous occasion, wasn't there, when he passed away, that extraordinarily, he went up in the world rankings because he was an honorary member of the association. His name wasn't taken off the world ranking list, even though he was no longer with us. A few of the members resigned their membership, and so there it was, up the rankings.
23.
Very different character, Eddie, to Neil Robertson, but one thing they share: extremely tough competitors.
Yeah, great passion for the game.
28. $29.
I think there could have been a swear box at the end of the arena, Phil. We made a few quid out of Eddie for the few charities, wouldn't we? I think he's okay.
$36.
He is.
Yeah, appears he's got a slight kick. But just look where the Reds are. This is not looking good for Mark Selby. Well, he'll be a little bit concerned now because he hasn't really got into this match, and this could be, in double quick time, 3-0.
44.
And if it is, Robertson would guarantee himself at least 1 point.
$45. $52.
Won the Masters at
53.
Ali Pali in North London back in January. But it's now been 23 months since he's won a major world ranking tournament. 6 of them on his CV. The most recent being the World Open in Glasgow in October 2010.
59.
He's won Players Tour Championship events since then. Good timing there. The bug landed on the table just before he was down. Another second, that might have been a problem.
60.
So the pink, a red and a colour, and hey presto, 3-0. And Mike, you have to say this has been top-notch stuff.
It has, and you know, and you've got a class
66.
player like Mark Selby sitting in the opposite chair. You can do nothing about this. I mean, the first break he made, the 63, is superb. I mean, when he finished between those two reds in the last
67.
frame and to finish off the second frame, but this again, this is top stuff. Just, you know, you finish up being a spectator. Well, there's some snooker to be played in those 2 or 3 months, isn't there? You know, the PTC, the Shanghai Masters,
72.
International, and all of a sudden these guys are sort of targeted nose. Hang on, hang on.
Neil Robertson, 72.
Well, 2 snookers required. I think Mark will play on here. If it was in the opening frame, it might not, but with him being 2-0 behind, you can't blame him for coming back from the table.
1.
A bit to do, but he's capable. Well played.
And Mike with the shot clock. For Selby, there's extra hope, because if he can lay a couple of good snookers, not an awful lot of thinking time for Robertson to work out the escape, and so maybe a mistake could be forced.
No.
And again, he's going to have a problem with those 2 reds near the side cushion. But just get rid of these first, put points on the board. Of course, it's the mark of a great player Phil, isn't it? When you've been sat in your chair cold,
16.
come to the table, you get a half chance. Let's remind ourselves. I was going to say, Mark still needs 2 snookers. Didn't expect him to miss that one.
16.
No, he's being deprived of table time, and it's shown. He missed a bad red at the start of the second frame, and that one should not have gone astray either. Well, there's the table time, 64% for Neil Robertson. I think it's even more dominating in terms of points scored, 208 to 39. And then there's balls potted. Over 4 to 1 in favour of Robertson. The total's 59 to 14. And highest break, yes. Selby's 16 so far. It can happen to the best of them.
Yeah, and then Neil's getting the little nudges as well. It's made all the difference with that cue ball finish in there. Mark under it here. I don't know if you can see the left-hand one. You can't see the straight one. Well, that was all eggs in one basket there, and I'm afraid this frame is over.
Yeah, frame conceded, frame Neil Robertson.
Yes, the quickest frame of the match so far, but nothing's changed in terms of the destination of it. Robertson goes 3-0 ahead. Joining us tonight, let me just quickly tell you about that Peter Ebdon match. We were all wondering how one of the slowest players in the game, Mr. Methodical, would cope with the shot clock. Well, he coped just fine, thank you very much. Breaks of 80, 83 and 103 in the closing 3 frames. And now Stephen Lee's hopes of making the playoffs looking extremely forlorn.
Well, and again, Neil's been a little bit fortunate there. He caught that red all on the wrong side, too thick, and he could have easily left this red for Mark in the left corner. He's got this one to the left middle, though. Well, the big question, of course, here for Mark Selby is, can he get something out of this match? You know, it's a tall order. Made in 3 frames on the bounce to gain a point. I wouldn't say he hasn't gone into this match. He hasn't been able to, has he? He's had a couple of misses, but like you say, Phil, it was lack of table time, really.
7.
Well, if he can get the draw, it would feel like a win.
Yeah, but we know that this guy won't give up. He'll be thinking, okay, I can't get a win here, but I can certainly get a point out of it.
13.
Could go into the pack here. Opting to drop it in for reds to the left corner. Well, I'll keep saying it. He needs to make the most of this and put in a good high break here. Just get some table time, get the cue arm going.
21.
The thing is, if he can win this one, Phil, and make it 3-2, that just puts a little bit of pressure back onto Neil to win the match. Great shot.
$28. 29.
Well, Robertson just getting accustomed to the contours of his chair.
Oh, the other way around. Just getting used to the contours of him. It's not been in that chair too often tonight so far.
36. 37.
Well, he's a stoic individual, Mark Selby. He's won 2 major world ranking events, both of them as a result of extraordinary comebacks in the final. 8-5 down against Ronnie O'Sullivan in the Welsh Open in 2008.
43.
Came back to win 9-8, and then last season won the Shanghai Masters, overcoming Mark Williams 10-9 from 9-5 behind.
Well, he had that bit of a scrappy start in the opener, but it's certainly picked up since then. And of course, most of it's been Robertson.
52. 53.
There's still that slight sway movement there with Mark Selby, Phil, isn't there? He's really worked on that over the years. It's not as pronounced as it used to be. Won't be happy with a shot there, though, leaving the white on the other side cushion. But he's always had that there, but it's not, he has worked on it.
Yes, it looks unconvincing. It's certainly unconventional. For the most part, though, it's very effective. There you see again the head moving all over the place against the textbook.
61.
I think that split second when he actually delivers the cue is when he's still with the head, you know. But that was a great pot from there. But he's looking at the blue here. This is a big shot to take on. If he misses this, there's plenty on for Neil. Ooh, now then.
Mark Selby, 61.
How costly will that be? He could have closed the shot, chose not to.
All players know the importance psychologically of making a big clearance to snatch a frame away. Robertson is a past master of this kind of thing.
Eight.
It's annoying as well when you've just done all the hard work and you're just a couple of balls away from securing the frame. And well, Neil Robertson could be a couple of balls away from securing the match.
The pink spots, but it also goes into this top right hand pocket. That's the next colour of choice.
16.
Got a kick there. It's taken all the pace out of the cue ball.
22.
I wonder if your tried to disturb this red off the side cushion. No, just, well, he tried to. He's actually put it worse. He's put it onto the cushion.
23.
Unlucky. He's tried to move it again. Well, it's okay. He's got the double kiss, but of course, it still come down to that red.
29.
and it's in mid-cushion here, Mike. I just wonder whether,
Time extension.
after potting this red with the use of a time extension and then the black, will he try and dislodge it, or will he settle for a double? I think it's going to be the former.
Yeah, there's options, isn't there? You could stun him behind it. Well, now then, what does he do here? Does he go for the red? If he misses it, he's out of position. Does he drop him behind it? I think he'll play to drop him behind it, you know. If he gets tight to that cushion, he could win the match. Gone to move it, and that's the problem. He had to hit it.
Yes, I think had he been right-handed, he might well have dropped in behind the red there, but being left-handed, it would have been awkward. Right back in the frame, though.
Neil Robertson, 37.
Yeah, excellent break. And he's got the snooker as well. He's 24 points behind there with 35 on. And if Mark's snookered, he's got to get this red safe.
Have a look at what else again.
I think you can see some of this red actually, the left-hand side of it, as we look. Not easy to get safe though.
Time extension.
Yes, Mark having to take a time extension here. These are the sort of situations that we've been talking about this evening, that, you know, sometimes they need a little bit more thought and care and time. Especially at this juncture. It could be end of match for that man. He can hit it direct. He's got to get it safe. Well, it's not bad. I can't see Neil being tempted with that one. But you never know. Well, again, is Mark tempted with this one. He still needs a colour off it though. Now he's playing, well, first of all he looked at the safety. I think he's playing this up and down. He's got to avoid the double kiss.
From Selby's point of view, he would love to see a couple of colours in awkward positions close to cushions. They are not. All of them are in the open. One mistake from him and it could be curtains.
Well, he's had 1 or 2 touches here this evening. No Robertson on that side. He's snookered Mark here. This could finish anywhere. Oh, and he just avoided the double kiss. Well, he'll settle. Not bad. Good shot.
Is this a tempter, Mike?
I think so. Well, worst case scenario is 3-1, but it could be 4-0, guarantee the points. No, I think he's already made up his mind to try and knock this in. He's guaranteed to be on the pink. Overdone it. It's one of those, wasn't it?
Having to use the rest, though, this is not a gimme. Selby needs red and reasonably high value colour.
Just avoided the ML. He's on the blue.
One.
Stopping moment there. Oof. Well, I think Mark's about to put his first frame on the board.
6. Eight. 11.
'Don't discount his chances of salvaging a point.
Well, like I said, Phil, imagine if he makes it 3-2. Just put a little bit of pressure back onto Neil to clinch the match then. The next frame obviously will be very interesting. See how which way it goes. But Mark obviously happier. Now he's got his first frame on the board.
Well, Robertson's still in charge, but Selby is off the mark. A former world champion is leading the current world #1 by 3 frames to 1 here in Stoke. Neil Robertson 3-1 up on Mark Selby. Earlier on, Peter Ebden, I thought was very impressive indeed, particularly towards the latter stages of his 5-1 victory over Stephen Lee.
Thank you, frame 5. Neil Robertson to break.
This is a Group A match. We've seen one result in this group already, up in Skegness. Ding Shunwei beat Sean Murphy 4-2. So if Robertson can win the closing 2 frames here, he will go top of the table for what it's worth. Just superb. Well, Mike, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Leave the cue ball tucked under the ball cushion, but Mark Selby found a way out of it.
Yeah, the thing is, at this level, if they don't get the white behind the green or the yellow, there's been 3 or 4 this evening.
7.
Where the players have knocked those in, haven't they? Daniel's had a couple. Mark was a great shot there as well. And it's obvious that Mark's not playing badly. Like I say early on, he just didn't have the table time. But, you know, if he does get this one, like we've said, he's got half a chance to get something out of this. He's under-hit that one by a long way, though.
Nine.
After this, Selby won't be back in Premier League action until he takes on Ding in Malvern on the 11th of October. Neil Robertson returns to action in 3 weeks' time in Banbury. He meets Sean Murphy there. I think before the match, considering it was their opening fixture in this year's tournament, both players would have been okay with a 3-all draw, but having gone to 3 each, or 3-0 I should say,
Mark Selby 4.
Robertson would be disappointed now.
Won't be too happy with that one either. Mark having a look at this red in the middle of the table, and he can stun down for the black. He might hold for the blue actually. It's a more percentage shot for him, of course. Well, that must have looked in from his point of view.
Well, let's put it this way, Mike, he can't cue that shot any better and see the red remain on the table.
But Neil can't take advantage either.
Well, he was playing with side, but even so, that one, no one could have envisaged.
Well, again, Mark not happy with that. Caught it far too thick. Some of his safety's been good this evening, but there's been 1 or 2 that he's just thrown in that have been not as good. The blue, but he's on the green to the centre here. Just depends whether Neil fancies it.
Well, he's never been one to shirk this kind of shot. Is he overcutting this? Yes, he is. I could tell from the alignment.
Good shout, Phil.
Robertson 1.
Bit of coaching next year then.
One. Three. Four.
Don't know. It just seems that like Neil's just took his foot off the gas here a little bit. It's just the door is ajar slightly here for Mark Selby. He's overdone that one.
Mark Selby, 4.
And he's missed 1 or 2 at this end of the table. Ones that we certainly expected him to get. I wonder if he's got away with it though. I just wonder if Neil can just kick that in with a little bit of right hand side. He's bound to be on the black. He could. Oh, that could prove to be very expensive.
1.
It's one of those snooker cliches, isn't it, Mike, that it's a game of fractions, but there you saw what it really is.
Time extension. Time extension. Time extension.
Now Robertson forced here to use an implement. Every snooker player hates with a passion the swan neck spider. I'm not surprised he's changed.
Well, he's taking an extension, but he's still going to have to hurry up here.
I think one of the problems with the swan neck is that quite often a player's cue just won't fit through it.
8.
Amazing.
Neil Robertson, 8.
Well, the standard has really dipped in this frame.
Possible cross double here to the right centre. It's quite warm in the auditorium here this evening. Feel like it was in Skegness, and it's, you know, it's boys in the UK especially not used to that. When they go abroad, of course, in Asia and whatever, yeah, they expect the temperature to be a little bit higher, but it's a little bit sticky out there, I think, for these two lads. And he's left this red on to that same green pocket as well. Chance for Mark here to get in then. Just too wide. He's had a few of those this evening. Too many, really, for him. He hasn't quite been on it, Phil, has he? Finished in the worst possible place for this black. Might just lay the snooker.
Neil Robertson,
there's
1.
the pot success rate. 80% for Mark Selby in frame 5 is not representative of him at all. %90 so far for Robertson is about par for the course at this level. Anything below, you start to worry. 80% just won't cut the mustard.
Well, he's lining up this red to the yellow pocket. Great shot. Now then, the opening is looking for to win this match. Perfect.
4. 5.
A little bit short of pace, but I think he's okay. There's a couple of reds that go to the opposite corner here. Just a little bit of side on the cue ball. Might go into them. Oh, he's gone for position. Well, to the centre, that's fair enough.
$12. 13. 20. 21.
His middle pocket potting so far tonight, Robertson, has been very safe and secure. And you have to be so accurate on these tables. There's just no room for error whatsoever.
Well, that could have been better. Well played. Do that. Cue ball off the side cushion now. Good recovery pot, but I think his only option here is to drop this in. He might have a possible red to the left middle. Yes, he has. Still has a chance to win the frame and the match here then.
33.
Still another good pot to the middle there.
Oh, when it caught the far jaw, I didn't give that a chance at that pace. Robertson will be so relieved.
Red and colour required then. And again, this has been a superb break, Phil, at the right time as well. He didn't want to go into the sixth frame, only 3-2 the lead. Well, black becomes frame and match ball.
41.
This to secure his 2 points then. Cross double to really make sure.
48.
If this goes in, Mark won't be coming back to the table. Is it there? It looks close. Well played. Well, again, a superb break, Phil. It just looked like he'd lost his concentration a little bit, didn't it? Well, you know, and he's got it back together again.
53.
It was interesting, actually, when he potted the black to leave Selby requiring snookers. No one in the auditorium clapped. Robertson looked at the scoreboard to make sure he was okay. That is the convention normally with crowds, that they applaud when the
58
ball goes in to get it over the line. This has been tremendous. Didn't start off the frame well at all. Looked a little shaky.
62.
But the end game has been eye-catching.
Neil Robertson 62 and the frame.
The blue didn't matter. With a break of 62, Neil Robertson wraps up a guaranteed victory. Can he go top of Group A by winning the next frame as well? Welcome back to the Biddulph Valley Leisure Centre just north of Stoke, where Peter Ebdon has made a cracking start to his return to the partypoker.com Premier League. He's beaten Stephen Lee 5-1, and he did so with considerable aplomb. Breaks of 80, 83 and 103 in the closing 3 frames of that match. Neil Robertson would love to complete a 5-1 victory as well over Mark Selby. The victory is assured, it's just a matter of by how much. And if Robertson does win 5-1, he will replace Ding Junhui of China at the top of Group A. Ding started his campaign with a 4-2 victory over Sean Murphy recently at the Embassy Theatre in Skegness. Mark Selby is back in the arena, and who knows, at the end of this qualifying process,
Thank you, the final frame of this match.
this
Mark
frame
Selby
might
to
make
break.
all the difference. Selby has to tell himself
Settle
it could
down,
come down
please.
to frames won and lost, and this could be the clincher. Plus, of course, as always, £1,000 rides on it.
Shot there. And again, on the thick side. And it's, well, it's been the safeties aspect of Mark's game this evening that's let him down the most, really.
One.
Yes, numerical confirmation there of what he's saying, Mike. We told you a little earlier that he won the Paul Hunter Classic, did Mark Selby, recently over in Germany. It was a battling performance.
6.
He wasn't in top gear, but he just kept cranking out the victories.
Seven.
So far this season, Robertson has been light years away from his best. Tonight, though, so far has been a radical improvement.
Yeah, signs of his coming back to his best, isn't there? He'd like to clinch this one as well, of course. 5-1 against the world number 1 would be a great victory
11.
for him.
Twelve. $19. $20. $27.
There's an interested spectator, a man who's doing an awful lot of good work in the game at the moment. Former professional Jason Ferguson, chairman of the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association. He was a good competitor, Mike, and he will know, from Robertson's perspective, that was a chance missed.
Yeah, it certainly was. Wow, just look at that for pace. And there's been a few of those tonight from the Aussie. Really kept Mark under the cosh. He might be tempted with this red down the cushion. He could stay on the black, actually. Dreaded bleeps, eh? Well, nearly. He's got the cover. That's a good shot. In fact, I think he's got the snooker. It might be just to see a little edge of the ones on the left-hand side. He's having to play a swerve shot around the green. Dead weight. Looks good. Well, again, that's great touch. I don't think he's left anything to this corner pocket. Or has he?
Yes, it's just travelled too far.
And there you go. It just shows you the camera angle, isn't it? Another one. I didn't like him to pot that. So, chance here for Mark then. And again, as you already mentioned, Phil, the importance of making sure you get extra frames on the board. This could really count. It could be very important at the end of the qualifying campaign.
6. Seven.
Yes, and I think that's why Stephen Lee's hopes of making the playoffs are hanging by a thread. Not just because he's lost both of his matches so far, that's bad enough, but the fact he's lost them by scorelines of 5-1 on both occasions.
Well, no good there, unless he thinks about taking this red on to the right middle, but it's difficult. No, he's not interested. Can't blame him.
Mark Selby 9.
He's had so much success in recent years, Neil Robertson. Obviously the big highlight was winning the World Championship in 2010. He would love to win the UK Championship, which he hasn't done so far. He would dearly like to win a world ranking event over in China. That's still to be ticked off the list. And of course, lifting the Premier League trophy. Any of those achievements this season would mean an awful lot to him.
One.
Well, he's got the brown to the centre, but he's just slightly the wrong side of it, actually. He could lay him behind the yellow.
Neil Robertson 1.
Selby might be tempted here to take an extension. Hitting a red is no problem whatsoever. Hitting one and leaving them safe, that's an entirely different proposition.
Looking at a two-cushion escape, he's got to get this right. Oh, well, he's missed it by a fraction. A miss has been called by referee Paul Collier, but there is a red on. But he needs to negotiate the cue ball. I think he'll have that put back. Can't guarantee position on the colour.
Yeah, just up a bit, wasn't it?
Now the clock isn't in operation yet. Obviously the 25 seconds allowed doesn't start until all the balls have been replaced in their original positions.
White was there anyway. Yeah.
I think they're just querying the position of the pink here. The white's not really a problem. What I was just saying was the pink slightly lower or higher at the table, actually. I was just checking that, because obviously coming off two cushions, he did catch the pink. Same again then. Needs a little bit more side this time. Well played. Excellent shot.
Can't second guess Robertson for having the cue ball put back, but how often do we see that where a top class player easily makes the adjustment required with an escape of that nature?
Yes, and it's Neil who's made the mistake there. He's got away with it though.
Well, again, recurring theme, Mark Selby catching a safety shot much too thick.
One.
Now that shot looked simple enough, but to hold the cue ball the way he did required a really delicate touch.
Eight. Nine.
Given the position he's in, it looks as though an Australian will replace China's #1 at the top of Group A. Barring a natural bounce off the cushion.
Was big, wasn't it? He's still on this right-hand red, actually, of the two, but I was with you, Phil. He did spring off that top cushion. Should be okay. Both these reds go.
$17.
Again, he's slightly out of position here. If he takes the pink on, he might have to go around the table, the cue ball, and there's plenty of colours to hit. Just checking the clock. He's okay with that. Well, actually, that's not bad. I'll say that, but he's not quite. Oh, hang on, keep going, keep going. And a fraction more, that would have been perfect.
23.
Yes, another quarter of an inch of roll on the cue ball, and he would have been right behind the red. It still pots, but when the cue ball and object ball are so close together, it's tough to judge the potting angle.
thing is, Phil, he wants to try and win the match here, doesn't he? He doesn't want to come back again to the table. He's at the table, he wants to do it here. Well played.
24.
Well, he's gone away from the pink slightly. It'll make it a little bit more difficult from there.
Any colour and one more red, and then Selby will need snookers.
Where's the next red coming from, though?
Time extension.
Well, looks like he's going for frame and match here. What can you say? Well, it's a great shot. He has been cueing very well this evening, Neil, and he decided to go for that one. But what a shot! What a ping to knock in. And he's on the red, which is a match ball. Well, again, Phil, a superb break, just at the right moment. He really has made some great breaks this evening, and he's put Mark under the cosh.
When you were talking with Andy Goldstein at the start of the show, Mike, they showed the odds, didn't they? And both Peter Ebden and Neil Robertson were the outsiders. They've not played like it.
The
red doesn't matter. The man from down under has come out on top, and by a decisive margin, Neil Robertson beats the world #1 Mark Selby 5-1.